Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be in conversation and in relationship with other people as a more whole version of yourself? Well, you're not alone. And if this idea piques your interest and curiosity, I invite you to join my friend Manak Singh and myself, Dr. Node Smith, as we explore some of life's most challenging and interesting questions and social dilemmas in a conversation that is more about how we are relating to each other and to ourselves, and less about the information that we're presenting. So, welcome to the relational field. What's it like to be you now?
I realized I wasn't connected to myself. I feel like I don't know what's going to happen. I was in this place before coming here, in this place of nothing matters.
Ooh. Nothing matters.
Yeah.
Like nothing matters like I'm off the hook for like needing to worry about the problems of the world, or like nothing matters like I'm like trapped in an existential crisis.
I wish it was the first one, but it's the latter one.
Oh.
It's like nothing means anything. Everything is just undifferentiated and equally meaningless.
Mm.
That's what I was with coming here.
Mm.
And I had this feeling that you'd be okay with that.
I love the idea of meaningless because I don't think meaningless is bad. Like when I hear you say that, I hear this assumption that like things should be meaningful. And that I actually am a lot more resistant to. I'm curious if that's an assumption, but I'm resistant to it, whether it's an assumption of yours or not.
I think that is an assumption. They should be meaningful because I don't even know where to go from there. Why do they have to be meaningful?
Yeah. Like what is meaning?
It's like meaning informs me what to do.
Okay.
And when there's no meaning, I don't know what to do.
Mm. So I am curious when you say there's no meaning and I don't know what to do, I'm kind of with this like big question mark of okay, so there's no meaning, but what is there? Because meaning, I don't hear you saying there's nothing. That like life is nothingness. It's just life is meaningless. So what is actually there besides meaning?
Just stuff.
Mm.
Stuff that I feel disconnected from.
Mm. Mm. I want to know where you are.
I think there's a deeper cut to what I'm saying.
Yeah, me too. I feel it.
And the deeper cut is that I don't matter.
Oh, so if life is meaningless, I'm meaningless and I don't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh man. Dude, that's a trip.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm with.
Oh yeah. So like I'm like is it is it a projection of like I feel like I don't matter and so I'm projecting that onto the world? Or is it that like I'm seeing the world in its insanity and meaninglessness, like its flatness, and because I'm looking at it, it's like I'm looking at a mirror that's reflecting back onto me a sense of meaninglessness.
That's a great question, and I think it's a projection.
That's a projection.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. Oh. Mm. Mm. I feel like a tender sadness. Like I'm with that. I'm like, oh, that's, yeah.
You know, there was this British American writer, Christopher Hitchens. I don't know if you know about him.
Mm.
He once said that he spends most of his days in an incredibly bad mood.
Mm. What kind of a writer?
Journalist, political commentator.
Oh.
And that statement really resonates with me.
Mm.
I don't think it's that extreme. I wouldn't say that I spend it in a bad mood, but I spend it in a mood. And this is the mood that I spend it in.
That's so interesting.
And right now I'm just in a place of embracing it.
Huh. What is the embracing like?
The embracing is like, I don't know why you're here. I'm speaking to my mood now. I don't know why you're here, but you're here for a reason. And I want to know that. I want to know why.
What's it like inside of that? like I kind of have this sense that we like just edged into something that's like not meaningless in the way that we were just talking about meaninglessness.
Yeah, you're so right about that. Sorry, your question was like, what's
it like? What's that like to like feel like there's a reason here, or like there's some type of substance? It sounds like
I feel enrolled.
You feel enrolled like into your own life,
into my experience.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, like I'm here for it.
Oh, that's interesting. Huh. What is that? What does that change?
It changes my previous projection, because now suddenly something suddenly does mean something to me.
Something does mean something to you.
Yeah. My experience means something to me, and that's why I'm here. Like I'm here for it.
Your experience means something to you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. And I get the sense that like it's pleasant for it to mean something.
Yeah. Like, because it means something, I want to take care of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
I don't feel like I want to separate myself from it.
And what is it? What's the it?
The emotion, the mood.
Oh, the mood.
Yeah.
So like, what does that do to does the mood still stay? Like, are we still in that? Like, we didn't really define what the mood is, but is the mood the same and you're just with it? Or is the mood like different somehow now that you're relating to it differently?
That's a great question. Something feels different, but I don't know if it's because my orientation to it has changed or if the mood itself has changed. I'm unable to place a finger on that.
What does it feel like? Does it feel like it's the same mood?
It feels different.
It feels
Different, yeah. It feels like I changed glasses to receive another frequency.
Interesting.
And now I'm looking at things that I had not seen before.
Huh. I have a curious question that might be related to the topic that we've been chatting about.
Love it.
Has anything changed in your identity?
As a result of this change in orientation?
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like I need to sit with this question for a little bit to come up with something. But when it comes to identity, I feel like this mood has something to say about it. And how my identity relates to this mood is that I don't have an identity.
Ooh.
Like I'm no one.
Oh.
And that really gets me down.
That's so curious that you would say that. That's so curious that you would say that.
Oh,
when you say that, when you say like, I have no identity, I get so excited. And I get like so like playful, like, oh, we're gonna go on like this existential, like non-dual, like field trip right now. And then when you're like, and like I get really down, I'm like, oh, you want an identity.
Yeah, I so badly want an identity.
Yeah. Huh.
What does that make you feel?
It just makes me really curious about like just the attachments that I have to identity and other people, and how like meaningful like we hold on to our experience as like these definitions of who we are.
It seems like I'm the perfect person to talk to you then.
Yeah.
What comes up for you when you think about just not having an identity?
I mean, the first thing that pops into my head when you ask that question is laughter. Like that's not possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What I imagine that is like a person just spaced out.
Yeah.
It's like he has no thoughts and he has nothing to say.
Yeah.
That's my caricature of somebody not having an identity.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, like in like some respects, it's like, okay, I can go there. But as soon as I am interacting with you, like I need to put on some type of, or there's something there that's acting in this space. And it's like, it may be really like loose and undefined, but even in that like undefinedness, like there's an identity, there's like a place, there's a space being occupied by the human figure of node.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not just a nothingness here.
Mm-hmm. So an identity feels very temporary.
I would like it to be transient. I would like it to be. Even if there's consistency to that, to the temporal nature of it.
Why would you like that?
Well, because if it's temporary and I see that, then I don't feel trapped. I don't feel trapped. Like, where's my identity coming from? Like, am I choosing it all the time? Like, is this a choice? Do I have options? If I choose one identity, do I have to keep that forever? What if I want to wear like a different pair of pants? Like, what if I want to drive a different car? What if I want to change jobs?
Yeah, there seems to be more freedom
Yeah.
if identity can be, if it is transient, and it can, and it, if it is, there's a choice element to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Now, earlier we were talking about personalities, and I'm wondering if identity and personalities are you seeing those as two different things or the same thing?
Different things, but related. When you ask that, it's like almost like anything that I can like grab onto, like attach my sense of self to, can become part of my identity. And yeah, it's like I want to see that I'm doing that, and not just have that happen and like hijack the option, the choice away from me.
I feel very confused about those two concepts.
Which two concepts?
Identity and personality.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Because if I am a generous person, from one perspective, I can see myself identifying with the quality of generosity. From another perspective, I can see this as a personality that I chose into, a personality trait that I chose into, and I don't know how to distinguish the two.
What if there are facts about my personality that are real, but the truth of that personality as my identity is something that has more to do with my connection to it rather than like the external world's like model of it.
I think you know what I'm going to say here.
Yeah.
Which is, could you give me an example?
Well, like someone might, someone might call me a nice person, and like the reasons that they might assess me as being nice might be completely accurate. He obeys the rules. He says please and thank you. He's a stand-up guy of integrity. He's always friendly to me whenever I've talked to him, things like this, right? So those might be factual aspects of maybe my personality.
Right.
That's the external world could like put a stamp on and assess somewhat objectively. And that might be maybe what we call this like personality. But in terms of my identification of niceness or too niceness, like I don't really identify with being nice at all. Like, in fact, I'm very resistant to the idea of like being a nice person.
Oh, interesting.
Like that word is just not even like in like I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like it's too flat,
Okay.
you know.
Interesting. So identity seems like So is it correct to say that personality is more something that can be assessed from external to you, and identity is really like it's like a subjective choice?
I think so. Yeah. And it's like there's so much like this is a pretty hot topic right now. Like identity, right? Like how do I identify? Like what's my gender identification? And that's like another thing. It's like, okay, well, if I identify as a certain gender, transgender, queer, or what other things does the world assume is part of that identification? And am I always 100% part of that like identification? Does that identification all of a sudden like become a role with like all these rules and structure? And how rigidly attached to it am I? Like that question about like like the gender politics question right now, like I just want to laugh. Like it's like so limited. The question of identity, like as in terms of like gender, is like totally small potatoes. It's like a tiny little aspect of life.
What about it? What is lacking from the discussion?
Well, it's like it's such a big, huge bomb, right? There's so much of this kind of cultural politics wrapped up into it that as soon as like I drop that bomb, it's like all other aspects of my identity are like overshadowed in some ways, or can be. And that's my question, is like how do I identify with things or roles or people groups in ways that overshadow all of these other aspects of life, or um, limit expressions of identity in other ways.
So what I'm hearing is that your identifications can limit you.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. It's like if I identify as, I think it's really easy to kind of demonstrate with like really simple things. Like if I identify with like a peer group, or like a certain demographic, like I'm a cowboy. And so I always wear my cowboy boots. I always wear my jeans. I always wear my cowboy hat. And it's like that's who I am. Well, that's cool. Does that limit me from going places that cowboys wouldn't go? Does it limit me in expressing my way in ways that I think or culturally are not supported by cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we could do the same thing with men, or women. My idea of identifying as a woman means that I need to wear high heels. I need to wear a dress. I have to put on makeup when I go outside. And it's like, oh man, that's so crazy.
Yeah, like what I'm hearing is that when I choose to identify with whatever, there's like this slew of other stuff that comes with it. And that's what's limiting more than the identification.
Yeah.
It's like what
Yeah.
is unconsciously entering into my life with that identification.
Yeah. And it's like, can I identify as like more than one of these? It's like, what if I want to like wake up and like wear like a dress one day? Like, is that allowed? Does that all of a sudden make me a certain thing? It's like, oh, okay. Like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and who's telling me that? Like, who's making up these rules, these identity rules?
Yeah, and it seems like one of the rules or the principles, like the unsaid rules or principles, is like identity is like permanent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like, and I don't think any of us would I don't think any of us would agree with that. Like, my sense is that when I put that on, I'm like, nobody wants to agree with that. But it's like, how many times have we been how many times have I been in a position where like somebody does something that's like that I think is out of character, and I like can't let it go, and it's like weird and bizarre to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, because I have them as like an identity. Or even myself, like how many times have I not done something because I think that like my identity wouldn't do that, or I get scared that it would change my identity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, people would see me as a different person.
This is bringing me back to where we started the conversation, because in my experience, I've seen that I have changed what I identify with over the course of my life.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like interests and careers and whatnot. And each change has this effect of, maybe I lack an identity because it changes.
Mm.
And that feels like, I don't know where it comes from, but it feels like an unwanted thing. It's like I
What?
admire people who like pick a certain path in life, and then
Oh.
they just like stay on that path forever. They become successful or whatever, but they stay on the path. But like with me, it feels like, oh, this is interesting, and then I do that for a while. I'm like, oh, this is interesting, and then I do that for a while. I'm like, oh, do I even like? Is there somebody inside? Like, what's going on? Like, why does it change?
That's so
And
interesting.
I just feel not good about it.
Mm.
So there's an assumption there that I need to have an identity that is roughly the same.
Interesting.
And if I don't have that, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I think this is what we project out into the world too.
Yeah.
I admire people that can stay on like a trajectory like throughout life as well. Like I think there is something admirable about that, and I would never want to do that. um, yeah, my sense is that my identity, it's like I like my identity is constantly growing and becoming more and more whole to encompass more and more of life's options. I think about, yeah, I think about different phases of my life where things were important to me, and I identified with them or wanted to experience them because they were meaningful to me in some way, or I wanted to have a novel experience. And and it's like now I have that experience and know a little bit more about that. Do I know every single thing about it? Like maybe not. um but like I have a little taste of it, and it's like, okay, like maybe I know that like that's not for me. Like I don't need to do that. But I know because I have that personal experience of it, not because of a story or an assumption that I have, or because somebody told me that it's right or wrong, because I'm part of a certain demographic or a certain like cultural group.
When I hear that, it seems like identity is tied in with some sort of an experience.
Hmm.
It's like when I choose to experience something, I simultaneously
Like embody it.
like pick an identity or choose an identity to
Oh.
have that experience.
Hmm.
And I wonder where that's landing with you.
Yeah, that's so curious. It's like the world just became like a carnival, and like you and I are like at this carnival, and we're trying to decide, like what food to eat. And and in order to like eat certain food or like play certain games at the carnival, it's like, oh, I have to like put on this hat, and or put on like these safety goggles or safety clothes, or I have to like learn a special dance or something. It's like, okay, which things are we interested in? Like which things are cool enough, or pull our curiosity enough to like want to engage in a way that it touches who I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. It feels like we are meant to try out different identities, but we often forget that and we just become attached to one thing.
Yeah.
We think it's permanent,
Yeah.
or that changing in some ways is untrustworthy or unethical,
Yeah.
or it just plain can't be done.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that there's also like I think there's smaller things too that we don't even realize are like impact our life, and kind of impact our identity. Um, like just things, everyday things that we're like super attached to, that are it's like things that I'm attached to dictate the choices that I have, which, like, those are, I think, identifications too. Um, like what kind of car I drive, or like my attachment to time. Like what kind of a time person am I? Am I someone who has to be on time, and that's part of my identity? So much so that, when people are late, it bothers me because my identity is all of a sudden in question. When people ask me to lighten up, that I'm being too, rigid about time, does that trigger me? Because I feel like I'm my identity and how I orient to reality is being questioned.
Yeah, that's fascinating. When our identity is questioned, why is that such a triggering thing?
Yeah. Well, and it's like, I think it makes sense why my identity being triggered would be a triggering thing. But why are some of the things that trigger my identity, like, even relevant to my identity? Like, am I the car that I drive? Or why do people get so twisted about, if you've ever gone out with somebody who, and you told them that you're not going to drink any alcohol, and they just get weird about it. They want to, why are you, it's okay, like, are you an alcoholic? And it's like, that's a attachment to, like, something there.
The attachment on the attachment on the side of the person is like, why?
Yeah. Well, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Like, why is it even a question that you're really, like, kind of neurotically needing to be answered for yourself?
Yeah. So I hear that we have to identify with something.
When you say have to, it's like I have resistance to that. It's like, we will. It's not really a question. Our ego will mandate that we identify with things.
Right.
It's it's just a part of life.
Yeah, and I meant have to in that sense.
Okay.
It's like a mandate by the ego.
Yeah.
To navigate this existence.
Yeah.
So we need to have an identity
Yeah.
to navigate life. But we're not limited by it.
I think, yeah.
Or we need not be limited by it.
Yeah. And then if I'm not limited by it, it's like, what does it become? It's like, oh, maybe, maybe that's kind of the deeper cut of some of the spiritual, like, platitudes around, like, dissolving the ego and, transcending the self and things like that. And it's like, oh yeah, maybe that's what that means. Because we can be attached to that idea too.
Right.
We can identify with not identifying with our ego.
Yeah. What the question that's coming up for me is, what does it mean for me to not be limited by my identity? Because up? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
because me identifying with something has led to me having a career, has led to me having a group of friends, has led to me having hobbies and interests. So if I'm like that has given me so much. But this idea of, oh, I'm not limited by it. It doesn't. What if it doesn't feel like a limitation?
Mm. Like, I think that's what we're like, that's that like, it's choice each moment. It's like each moment I have a choice, and maybe that choice is really consistent over time.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, I can quit my job, and that doesn't reflect on who I am and my like core being.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the end of the day, I can make a different decision.
I know you didn't say this, but I'm sort of reading into it that my identity or my identifications are going to give me an issue somewhere in life, and that's when where I'm going to need to have this flexibility.
Yeah.
Of this flexibility of choice.
Yeah. Yeah, when you said that, I just like kind of had this image pop up of like relationships in my life. Um, you know, and I have this sadness oftentimes come up when I hear other people talk about their relationships in their life. Like, you know, just the difficulty that people have in relating to people that don't think the same way as them. You know, like um you know, don't see the truth, or you know, whatever. Like, there's just so much conflict between people, and it brings up this real sadness in me. And I think as as I navigate relationships, I often find I don't have any of those problems. You know, I talk to people all the time that who I don't agree with, like at all. That, you know, that I might even assess as having a mental pathology, and would never want to actually be their friends. And you know, I'm not talking about patients that come to me. I'm just talking about, you know, people who I meet and chat with. And I find that when I hold my sense of self and what that means, um, like really loosely, it allows me to like be in somebody else's world a little easier, and just really be curious about them for a time.
So I got really curious about the phrase "hold my sense of self loosely."
Yeah.
Could you say a bit more about that? What does that even mean?
Well, it's like, you know, if I'm walking down the street and somebody comes up to me, well, that's a bad example. If I'm waiting at a bus stop with somebody else, and let's say we're waiting there an hour, at some point there's going to be an opportunity to assess whether or not we're going to chat with each other. And I get the opportunity to enter into that relationship with any kind of identity I want. You know, not to say that I'm going to like pretend to be a different person, but what I mean is I can put different assumptions and rules and ethics and structure for myself and my beliefs about how this interaction should go. Um, what I'm interested in, what I'm not interested in, I can hold all that very loosely and just be curious about this other person.
Mm.
Or I can hold my identity very rigidly and just put that into the conversation as like, kind of like a statue, like, okay, I'm this person,
Mm.
and so yeah.
Feeling into that when you say about being rigid with your identity, feeling into that, it feels like I am rigid because I feel this interaction is going to take that identity away from me in some way.
Yeah, like I'm threatened by you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Like I fear you're going to change me in some way, and I don't want to give that to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you that power.
Yeah. And it's almost like I welcome being changed by that interaction. And maybe I won't. Or maybe the change will just simply be that I had this interaction where I otherwise wouldn't have. And it might be insignificant, like a drop in a bucket. I have no idea.
I'm smiling now because I love that idea of holding your identity loosely, but at the same time, I'm like, oh man, there are some people that I find intolerable, and there's no fucking way that I'm gonna be like that around them. It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to be that way.
It's interesting because I find it harder to find like my like rigidity and like my like what do I want to opinionate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because like I just want to get along with everybody. It's just like I don't want to say something and make some stand and like want to change my mind like 20 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like and that not be possible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Is there a shadow side to holding your identity loosely, or holding your identifications loosely?
Yeah, that's a great question. You've been reading the Enneagram book.
I have,
so
but I would have asked that question even before that book.
I love that. For me, like my ever-present shadow is like, am I manipulating like myself inauthentically? Am I trying to be someone that I'm not? And so like when I say holding myself loosely, I mean like consciously being with myself and seeing that I'm not rigid.
Mm-hmm.
The shadow, and I have spent, a lot of my life in this as well, in different arenas in my life, is abandoning any sense of what I want, like any sense of who I am in a situation, and just becoming what somebody else wants me to be. And there's a whole different texture of that. When I've done that in relationships, it just feels like the weight just keeps piling on. Like I don't like, and the resentments like just build up, the expectations that I have on other people to like take care of me and read my mind, and when I can't, be with myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shadow that comes up for me.
Mm-hmm. I relate to that shadow as well, especially in intimate relationships. And it seems like it's a real dance when it comes to your identity.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you are finding yourself changing your stance or orientation or opinion on anything, it feels like it needs to be done consciously to see if it's coming from a place of abandonment, self-abandonment, or from a place of, oh, this other person like has a great point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, which like it circles back to like my admiration for people who can just be the same, like regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that there's a value in that. And and I it's I strive to be in integrity in these choices,
Mm-hmm.
right? I guess my point is I want it to be a choice.
Yeah, that's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's a conscious choice rather than an unconscious choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If like what's driving this ship? I just think about like professional like businessmen. It is there an authentic desire and choice to work 12, 14, 16-hour days, on the computer, doing whatever job they're performing, making tons of money doing it? Or is there, some type of identification with lack and scarcity and power that, like drives this person unconsciously forward at the expense of almost the entirety of their life? And that's not admirable.
Mm-hmm.
From the outside it looks really cool because I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't make money like that. It's just not how I orient.
They have a lot to show for it.
Yeah, they have a lot to show for it. Like
Yeah.
the cars are nice, the boats are nice, right? It must be nice to do that. And what else is sacrificed,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, was it a choice?
Was it a choice?
That can be such a hard question to answer. Like if you went to that person in the middle of his like burgeoning career,
Yeah.
and you ask him, is this a choice? I don't think that's an easy question to answer for people.
Huh. That's interesting that you would assume that.
And that's a projection.
Yeah. I would
Because
make the opposite assumption. I would love to hear the comments on this.
that's interesting.
I would assume that given the opportunity, like given the space to even cursorily introspect and look at like, is this really what I want in my life? I think a lot of people would be able to say no, like I'm being driven by some kind of trauma, some kind of sense that I have to do this. It's not really what I want to do. Yeah.
Why does it matter if it's a choice or not?
I like the question, what's different about it being a choice versus not being a choice.
What comes up for me is this sense of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I put myself into that. That's my doing.
Mm-hmm.
Versus I adopted a formula or I lived someone else's life.
Ooh. Yeah. Like I have agency if there's a choice. Like I'm living my life versus like being controlled by life circumstances or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a sense of satisfaction
Mm-hmm. Like fulfillment.
when I make my own choice, even if it doesn't work out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Even if
It's obvious, but it's almost strange when I see that satisfaction still exists. It's like, whoa, like, why is there a satisfaction if it didn't work out?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a sense of I participated in life. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I was a conscious participant.
Yeah.
You know, Gabor Mate says that the cure to addiction is consciousness. And I like to say that like the cure to suffering is consciousness. Like anything that we're suffering with, like to bring conscious awareness to it is healing.
I like that. That could be a great place to end.
You know, I would add one more thing. Because when I say that, I have this like sense of myself, like my awareness, that conscious awareness, like what's the identity of that? And like that's really close to like what I think I'm talking about when I say like I hold my identity loosely.
You mean there's an there's an identification you make when you say you're a conscious person?
Like what is that consciousness?
Okay.
Like what's the identity of that consciousness? And I don't think that that's an answerable question. I think the question is the answer. It's like neither true nor false.
That's great. Oh man.
Is that our first inside joke on the pod?
Yeah.